So I want to welcome everyone to today's webinar. Today's webinar is about the Proven in Pendleton Counter-UAS Challenge. Boy, I'd be remiss if I didn't, introduce to you Percy, our mascot Pegasus. You're probably wondering what on earth does Percy have to do with counter-UAS and autonomous aerial and robotic systems, but Percy really does represent the best of what we do. She is just as nimble in the air as she is on the ground. And again, we want to thank each and every one of you for taking your time out of your day to be with us here today. We'll be as quick and as efficient as possible so we can get through these slides and we can get to, I'm sure, the questions that you have for us. Next slide, please, Chris. And so, I'm Joseph Wayno. I am the executive director of the Oregon UAS Accelerator. I'm joined today by Daryl Abling. He is the range manager for the Pendleton UAS test range, which is actually going to play a major role in this counter UAS challenge. We're also joined by Eric Schmidt from his team, as well as Chris Ponzillo from my team. He's our chief marketing officer, and Andrew Olatera, who is our operations manager. Next slide, please, Chris. Oh, we're there. Okay, good. Before we dive into the details of the Proven in Pendleton Counter-UAS Challenge, let me introduce to you, probably many of you don't know exactly what we do at the Oregon UAS Accelerator. We are a leading organization dedicated to advancing unmanned systems technology. We're based out of the Eastern Oregon Regional Airport in Pendleton, Oregon, population 17,000 people, rural Eastern Oregon, working very closely again with the Pendleton UAS test range, which Daryl Abling leads. Our mission really is to help startups establish companies rapidly develop, test, unmanned aerial and robotic systems and scale and help them commercialize these innovations and integrations. We're not an incubator, and I'd like to make that distinction. We're not supporting companies that are back of the napkin kind of ideation, iteration. I think I have an idea, or I have an idea. Let's see where this takes us. No, we're an accelerator. So in many cases, our startup founders are at a TRL level of 6 or higher. So they have a test-ready MVP, and we are helping them tweak kind of their business strategy, investor strategy, and grant strategy to help them commercialize and scale their startups. And what sets us apart, I believe, is our unique combination of resources. We provide access to world-class testing facilities at the Pendleton UAS test range. I'm not going to steal Daryl's fire, but I will say that we have a 14,000 square mile controlled airspace that allows for comprehensive testing in real-world conditions. But we don't stop there. We also offer, as I mentioned, business development, coaching, investor readiness training, and grant writing support to help innovators succeed, not just technically, but also commercially. Really, our goal is simple, and that's to bridge the gap between innovation and deployment by connecting innovators like you with industry leaders, great coaches, great mentors, government agencies, military partners, and other stakeholders who we can bring your solutions, or who can help you bring your solutions to market. Our Proven in Pendleton Challenge is one of our flagship initiatives designed to identify and support groundbreaking counter-UAS technologies. Again, we're thrilled to have you here today as we discuss how you can be a part of this exciting opportunity. This expanded slide content kind of provides a comprehensive overview of the Oregon UAS Accelerator while setting up its connection to the Proven in Pendleton Challenge. It highlights key benefits for each participant while building kind of credibility to your organization. Daryl?
Let me get off mute here. So, yeah, the test range works closely with the accelerator. We're based out of the Eastern Oregon Regional Airport here in Pendleton. We do most of our operations from the airport, although the range itself consists of 14,000 square miles of airspace, surface to 15,000 feet. Anywhere within that space, we go to the Idaho border, to the Columbia River, to Boardman, and south to about John Day. We can fly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, large, small UAS under our current COA. We can fly concurrent with manned traffic and concurrent with other unmanned traffic. We've got here at the airport, we're about 1,500 feet. It's relatively flat. If you go to the east, you can find 10,200-foot mountains. You find open wheat fields to the south and to the west. So there's a lot of space to operate, a lot of different environments. If you need high density altitude, if you need low temperatures, we can accommodate those kinds of things. Um, Cutting edge facilities, we've got 3 mobile mission control trailers that are fully outfitted with computer networks, weather stations, GPS time code equipment. We've got some cutting edge hangars that have just recently been constructed. We're about to break ground on another 18,000 square foot hangar. We've got an UAS industrial park on the north side of the airfield that is, I think, about 200 acres of shovel ready parcels that have power, water, fiber, um, ready to build. On the airfield itself, adjacent to the runways, we've got 15 UAS pads that also have high-speed fiber, power, water, and 50 by 50 foot graveled or cemented pad. Um, as it says, we're approved by the FAA. We operate under the authority of the University of Alaska. We do all our own COAs and things like that with the FAA. And then industry partnerships. We've got several companies that we work closely with. We have an on-site machine shop that's run by Sigma Design. We have a 5-axis CNC mill, so we can, among other equipment, so we can fabricate, we can prototype, we can fix right on the spot with very minimal downtime to customers operating out here. We have a full electronics lab, 3D print lab, and range staff that can support all those operations.
And Daryl, just we are swarm and laser certified, correct?
Yes, yeah, we can do laser work. We have agreements with some landowners that have property that is very conducive to doing laser testing. We can do ground to ground, ground to air, air to ground laser testing. I'm the laser safety officer for the range, and we did just get approval to do swarming. So we can obviously swarm. We're under restriction, 1 operator per single UAS that has now been lifted. So we have really no upper limit on the swarm, although the range team here would look at your test plan, would do a crawl, walk, run approach to, a massive swarm. We wouldn't put 1,000 aircraft up on the first mission, but we would definitely work our way to, a large swarm if that's what the customer so desired.
Thank you so much, Daryl.
Yep.
Awesome. So one of the reasons the challenge is so attractive to do at the Pendleton UAS test range is we do have, as Daryl just described, an enormous amount of capabilities to work with you to put together the test that's going to help you demonstrate your technology and its effectiveness. So I want to dive in and start addressing why this challenge is so crucial. As we got looking into this, two of the things that really stood out to me was that last year alone on the civilian side, 40,000 unauthorized drone incidents were reported across really, some various sectors, but specifically sporting events, military bases, correctional facilities, power plants, our key infrastructure and other venues. And then the other one was that 84% of our forward NATO bases were penetrated by some type of hostile drone activity. What does this mean? Well, this means, as many of you know, because you're doing this, we need innovative solutions in these spaces, and we need them now. This is really the heart of why we're here today, the Proven in Pendleton Counter-UAS Challenge. It's not just another competition. This is a mission-driven initiative for a dual-use innovation in the counter-UAS space. Our goal here is twofold. First, we want to accelerate the development of an effective counter-UAS solution. And second, as Joseph mentioned earlier, we want to bridge the critical gap between the innovative idea and the real-world application. We're not looking for concepts or prototypes. We want real deployable systems that can make an immediate impact in the field. What's going to set the challenge apart is our focus on dual-use technologies. We're seeking solutions that can protect both civilian and/or military assets. Imagine, if you will, a system that on Saturday is deployed, to protect a stadium, and then on Monday it's the same systems protecting a forward operating base. We want versatility, and we want to be able to see something that can, be effective and measure impact in any scenario. The challenge is open to U.S.-based companies and innovators. Our preferences for technologies at TRL 6 or higher. Again, just to emphasize, we're looking for solutions that go beyond conceptual stage, no back of napkins. They're ready for real-world testing and employment. Key feature to this challenge, if you win the grand prize, it's a $100,000 non-dilutive grant. Secondarily, if you're the runner-up, you're going to get a $20,000 non-dilutive grant. If you're one of the 5 finalists who get selected, you're also going to get 1 month free test flight at the Pendleton UAS test range, and the opportunity to pitch your solution to a panel of industry leaders and potential investors at the AVUSI Cascade Chapter Spring Symposium in Pendleton, where we will bring you out for testing and to do that. The impact of your innovation could be far-reaching. In the civilian sector, we're talking about protecting airports, stadiums, prison systems, critical infrastructure. On the military side, your technology could safeguard forward bases, sensitive installations, and even support battlefield operations. This challenge, we look at as your opportunity to not only showcase your tech, but to prove its effectiveness in real-world conditions. It's not just about offering a prize. We're an accelerator. Our goal is to offer a launch pad for your innovation, so that you can make a tangible difference in airspace security across these sectors. So when we dive into this, and Joe and Daryl, feel free to jump in with more info as I'm going through this section. A little bit more about what we're looking for. The core we're interested in really, there's 3, and many of you know this, key areas of counter-UAS technology: detection, tracking, and neutralization, be that capture or kill. We're talking in detection, critical step to counter any drone threat. We're looking for some type of advanced sensors that can identify drones at a variety of conditions, whether it's RF sensors, control signals, radar systems, objects at long range, optical or acoustic sensing, picking up sound or visual cues. The ability to detect low observable targets like small or stealthy drones is especially important. Additionally, multi-platform detection could be a key part of your solution, which could help you be capable of identifying, fixed-wing drones, multi-rotor drones, or hybrid systems. Next is tracking. It's one thing to be able to find it, but can we get a lock on it, know where it's going, know where it's coming from? We're particularly interested if you have an AI driven tracking systems that can analyze movement patterns with high precision, any type of multi-target tracking capabilities. We mentioned that we can do swarming. We know that swarming is a very viable way for intrusion and or attacking. So being able to pinpoint and track multiple targets is something that we would be looking for as well. Your system should be able to maintain continuity even if the drone performs evasive maneuvers or operates in a challenging environment like dense urban areas. For the challenge, precision is going to matter. Accurate calculations of speed, heading, position, extended ranges, no ranges here, guys, to help set the solution point. Finally, for neutralization, where the threat is addressed directly, this could involve jamming. Now, granted, I will preface this with saying, with the way we do the demonstrations on this, we'll be very particular. If you're selected to demo, Daryl and the team will work with you to build out a demonstration or to receive a demonstration video from you that illustrates these points. We're not going to bring you up and, RF jam the entire area or anything like that. These will be, very specific demonstrations that are showing off your technology in a way that's not going to disrupt anything else. RF jamming, electronic countermeasures, anything that's disrupting drone communications to the operator. Could also include net capture system safety, to immobilize the drone, do weapons, lasers, kinetic neutralization, projectile base. Again, any type of those hard kill solutions. We'll be looking for different methodologies for testing and, having you done that on a different area, any type of certified tester video that you have. The common thread across all these areas, detection, tracking, neutralization, is that your solution needs to be effective and ready for real world deployment. This isn't just about the theoretical idea, hey, I could take it down this way. We're looking for technologies that can operate in contested environments with conditions that may be unpredictable. So whether your innovation focuses on just all of these or just one of these, we think this is a challenge that you can apply for. It's one where, we're looking for solutions across the field, and we'd encourage you to be part of all of these. So when we look at kind of the concept at the heart of this challenge, that's dual use technology. We're particularly excited about, there's a bridge between civilian and military applications here, which means your technology is opened up to a variety of investor opportunities or a variety of end user opportunities. So what we mean by dual use technology is an innovative solution that can be effectively applied either civilian or military contexts without requiring significant modifications. The ability means you have the ability to adapt to various scenarios. This is the key piece here. So when we're thinking of examples in the civilian sector, we're talking about protecting stadiums, large events, safeguarding airports or critical infrastructure, assisting law enforcement, border security operations, even providing security for private sector facilities like corporate campuses or universities and colleges. On the military side, same technology could be deployed to protect forward operating bases, secure sensitive installations, enhance battlefield situational awareness, or provide force protection during various operations. The beauty of the dual use approach is that it opens up a world of opportunities for innovators like you, and that's, as Joseph said, our real goal. We want to accelerate in everything we do. We don't just want you to come in and win the challenge. We want you to come in and make these connections that are going to push the industry forward and see things really grow. So several key benefits to this approach: cost effectiveness through economies of scale. When your technology can serve multiple markets, production costs can be spread across larger customer bases, leads often to accelerated development and deployment. The urgency of military needs combined with the scale of civilian applications can drive rapid innovation and adoption. Moreover, our approach, the goal is to foster cross-sector knowledge transfer. Lessons learned in one domain can inform on the other, right? We want to, really help you as you develop the solutions for the challenge. We want to encourage you to think broadly about your applications, right? We want you to be able to be in the room with investors of all types and see the different ways and talk to them about how you can take the technology forward. Joe?
Oh, great. Thanks, Chris. And so let's dive into it a little bit more and discuss what's really in it for you as a participant in this challenge. And we've designed this program to offer substantial benefits that go far beyond just the monetary prize. First and foremost, yes, there is a significant financial incentive if you win or you come in second place. The grand prize, as we've mentioned, is a $100,000 non-dilutive grant. What that means is non-dilutive in the sense that we do not dilute any equity in your company. We don't ask for equity. So there's no catch, no cost, no fee whatsoever. The one thing we do ask, though, because this grant is being provided to you by state of Oregon dollars, is that if you win, there is a first right of refusal, and you must engage with Oregon-based investors and strategic partners in order for you to receive these funds. And it just isn't seed money for you. Look at it as kind of a substantial investment in your technology that doesn't require you to give up any equity, as I mentioned. Moreover, success in this challenge can open doors to additional funding opportunities down the line. It's very similar to what we currently do with our startup innovators who are part of our cohort. And so, networking, um, I guess the value of this challenge extends far beyond the cash prize. And, as Daryl mentioned, the testing facilities you'll have access to are really top-notch testing facilities. The range itself is truly a world-class test range. As Daryl mentioned, 14,000 square miles of really kind of diverse airspace. This isn't just about open skies. We're talking about varying environments, urban settings, rural areas, mountainous terrain. You'll have the opportunity to push your technology to its limits for certain, and test it in kind of real world conditions that simulate actual deployment scenarios. Networking is another critical or crucial benefit of this challenge. Through this challenge, you'll have a chance to connect with key stakeholders across multiple sectors. We're talking law enforcement agencies. In fact, the AUVSI Spring Symposium here in Pendleton, Oregon, just happens to coincide with the police, I think it's the Deputy Police Commissioner's annual conference that brings 200 police commissioners to town, and they are actually a part of this spring symposium. So you'll be pitching to many of the members that are here from the police. Government entities like Department of Homeland Security, FAA, who's kind of shaping the policy in this space, and private sector companies and investors who could potentially be your customers, investors, and partners. And these connections will be really invaluable for the future of your business. And we're also, you'll also receive expert feedback and mentorship from our coaches, mentors, and obviously the panel and the judges. Our panel will consist of industry experts who will provide technical reviews of your solution, helping you refine and improve your technology. You'll get operational insights from end users, kind of giving you a clear understanding of how your technology fits into real world scenarios. We'll even help you refine your business model to ensure that when you make a pitch, you're making a very cogent, compelling pitch that is as real world as your solution is. Because in the real world, we've heard thousands of pitches. Unless that pitch is spot on, generally speaking, you only get one opportunity to pitch to the same investor or strategic. And so we want to make sure that the pitch is optimized and it resonates with whoever you're making that presentation to. Media exposure is another significant benefit. Participants will be featured in press releases, industry publications, receive social media promotion, and may even have an opportunity to speak with and be interviewed by local and national news coverage. This kind of visibility really is a game changer for early stage companies. Half the early stage battle is driving awareness about who you are and what you do. And we think this event will make it easier for you. And lastly, we understand the importance of protecting your intellectual property. We provide guidance on safeguarding your innovation and use non-disclosure agreements to protect sensitive information shared during the challenge. In essence, the Proven in Pendleton Challenge is designed to be your launch pad for your counter-UAS technology. Whether you win the grand prize or not, every participant stands to gain very valuable experience, connections, and exposure that can help propel your innovation forward. We're not just offering a contest. we're offering a comprehensive support system to help you turn your counter UAS solution into a market-ready reality. So let's explore what success looks like in kind of the critical technology demonstration phase of your challenge. As we mentioned, Daryl and his team will be a big part of this. This is where your innovation concepts transform into proven solutions. First and foremost, we offer the opportunity for on-site demonstration at our world-class test range. This is your chance to showcase your technology in a live controlled environment, demonstrating its capabilities in real time to our panel of experts or judges. We understand that some technologies may have already undergone rigorous testing. That's why we also accept video submissions from certified testing facilities for our initial evaluation. This option allows you to highlight your technology's performance in specific scenarios that may have already been documented. Now, here's where our process truly shines. If you're a finalist, as Chris mentioned, our team at the Oregon UAS Accelerator will work closely with you to develop a customized testing protocol. We'll collaborate to design a demonstration that not only showcases your technology strengths, but also aligns with our operational capabilities at the test range. We recognize, again, that some innovations may have unique requirements that don't really fit inside the box. In such cases, we are totally committed to exploring flexible alternatives. Our goal really is to ensure every promising technology gets a fair chance to demonstrate its potential, even if it means, as I said, thinking outside the box for us and you. So throughout the demonstration process, your technology will be evaluated by a panel of industry experts or judges and potential end users. This just isn't about impressing the judges. It's about gaining valuable insights from professionals who understand how these real-world applications of your innovation work. We pride ourselves on creating authentic threat simulations. Your technology will be tested against scenarios that closely mimic, and Chris mentioned this, the challenge faced in actual deployments. This could include multiple drone incursions, urban environments, simulated electronic warfare conditions. And lastly, we don't just rely on subjective observation. You'll receive comprehensive performance analytics after your demonstration. This data-driven approach provides you with concrete metrics to validate your technology's effectiveness and identify areas for potential improvement. And remember, success in this phase isn't just about flawless performance. It's about demonstrating the real-world potential of your innovation and your ability to kind of surmount challenging scenarios and provide kind of a unique value proposition with your solution, your counter UAS solution in a real world environment. And this is really your opportunity to prove that your technology, again, to Chris's point, just isn't a good idea, but a viable solution that's ready for immediate deployment. And next slide, Chris. You there? Okay, so the culmination of your journey in this challenge will be the pitch competition. It's a 2-day event. So the first day, which I believe will be April 23rd. April 23rd will be where you demonstrate your solution at our test range. April 24th is the second part of the challenge, and it's equally weighted as your demonstration. And that's the pitch competition at the AUVSI Spring Symposium. And this just isn't just another presentation. It's really a pivotal moment that could launch your innovation into the spotlight and potentially reshape the future of the counter UAS technology that we're all looking for. So first, let's set the stage. The AUVSI Spring Symposium is really a premier event in our area in the unmanned aerial system space. It's where big names in tech, defense, and aerospace come together to explore really cutting edge, unmanned systems, innovation and integration. By reaching the finals of our challenge, you earn a coveted spot to pitch on stage at this event. This is a high stakes pitch event at its finest. You'll have an 8-minute pitch, and you'll have the opportunity to present your solution to a room filled with industry leaders, potential investors, obviously the judges, and key decision makers. And we're talking about executives from major defense contractors, representatives from government agencies, venture capitalists looking for kind of to improve their deal flow, and for the next best thing in security tech, and thought leaders who shape the direction of this entire industry. The exposure you'll gain is really be invaluable, in my opinion. Even if you don't walk away with a grand prize, you'll have the opportunity to put your technology on the radar of potential customers, partners, and investors. And this kind of visibility can lead to, we all know, business opportunities that far outweigh the immediate value of the prize money. We'll be presenting, or you'll be presenting, excuse me, to a panel of industry veterans who will provide expert feedback on your pitch and your technology. Their insight will be crucial in kind of refining your approach and identifying new applications or markets for your solution. You will be scored on your pitch, and the highest score wins the pitch competition, and that score will be combined with a demonstration score, and that aggregate or the total scores will be matched and will determine the first and second prize winners. So numerous networking opportunities at this event. Between the pitches and during event socials, you'll have an opportunity to connect one-on-one with key players in the UAS ecosystem. These connections, again, can lead to really, really great partnerships, investment opportunities, and even acquisition talks down the line, hopefully. Media coverage, again, significant. Ultimately, the pitch competition is more than just a contest. It's really about a launch pad for your growth. And we know how to grow and scale companies. This is what we do. Many of our past participants in similar challenges have used this platform as a springboard to secure major contracts, attract significant investment, and pivot their business in an exciting new direction. Again, remember the grand prize is certainly attractive. The real prize here is opportunity to fast track your innovation from a promising idea to a market-ready backed solution by the biggest names in the industry. So this is your moment to shine, to show the world your counter-UAS technology and what it takes to make a real difference in airspace security. So as you prepare for this challenge, keep the end goal in mind. Every test at Pendleton, every refinement of your technology is really leading up to this moment in the spotlight. So please concentrate on the event and make it count. And so we're very, very proud to be supported by some of the best organizations in the field. Many of these are Oregon-based companies because, well, we're based in Oregon, but the Pendleton UAS Test Range, of course, Oregon Entrepreneurs Network, as well as TAO, which is the Technology Association of Oregon. We're sponsored by the Oregon Lottery, Business Oregon, and of course, AUVSI. In addition to that, we have local sponsors or state sponsors for the Accelerator, Flight House Engineering, Clarify Consulting, Infinetics, Sage Tech, Sigma Design, as Daryl mentioned, as well as Autodesk, which many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with in terms of their software suite. So where are we here?
All right, so you guys
Okay.
asked a few questions in there. Looking at them, we're going to answer a lot of them in the next section here. So, the ones that we don't, we're going to hit again in the Q&A section. So, big question for me, if you're fitting the bill on this, how do we apply, right? How do we apply so that our technology can be evaluated and we can pitch and then demonstrate our technology on the 23rd in Pendleton and do the pitch on the 24th at the AUVSI Cascade Chapter Spring Symposium. So number one, if you go to OregonUAS.org /challenge, that's going to take you to the information on the challenge. If you hit the apply now button, it's going to open up the application. Make sure you fit the eligibility criteria, right? You're a US based company. You have demonstratable technology, TR level 6. When you're doing this, be prepared to introduce your company, give us an overview, describe your technology, give us some technical specifications, and have a baseline of your business plan. What's your market look like? What are your revenue projections? How are you really positioning and launching this thing? Who are you going after? How are you moving forward? You'll fill out the online application, attach any pitch deck you have, any videos demonstrating your technology. The more complete you can make it, the more information you give us, the more likely you are to receive a better evaluation as we go through. We don't want to necessarily go, oh, hey, look, a company submitted their URL. We're not going to be the research department going out and finding about you. We want you to give us that information. You will receive an email confirming receipt of your application, and our team will contact you if there's any additional information required. So once we go through that, just repeat, you're uploading your application, you're presenting any testing documentation. You can attach up to a 3-minute demo video if you'd like. You may want to highlight, little pro tip, highlight the dual use potential that your success has. Your innovation has. And remember, we're going to be taking a look at this. We've got lots of applicants, successful applicants, the ones that are fitting this. We're going to down select to a virtual pitch session first, where you can, tell us more about your technology, and we can really dive in and ask you some questions. So every single application we receive is going to undergo a thorough evaluation by our panel of experts. We're looking at the innovation of your solution, its potential to impact the field, and its readiness for real-world deployment. From the pool of applicants, we are going to down select to semifinalists. I'm not giving you a number on this because, I could say 10, but 30 of you are great, and I'm going to want to talk to all 30 of you to see how we down select that. Those applicants whose technology show the most promise, align closely with the challenge objectives, you're going to be chosen as semifinalists. So congratulations. You'll have distinguished yourself in the field. Semifinalists, you're going to be invited to participate in a virtual pitch session to a panel of experts and judges. This is going to be your opportunity to present your solution in more detail, highlight unique features that really help set you apart and tell us why you are the best fit for the Pendleton Counter-UAS, proven Pendleton Counter-UAS challenge. We want to see your vision and how it fits the broader counter-UAS landscape. Based on the virtual pitches, we will narrow down the field to 5 finalists. These are the innovations that are going to truly stand out, demonstrating not just technical excellence, but also clear potential for real-world impact and scaling. Here's where the really exciting stuff happens. If you're selected as one of the 5 finalists, we're going to fly you, the founder, out to Pendleton, to the UAS test range in Oregon. We're going to put you up through the demonstration phase, the pitch phase, etc. We're going to fly you back too. We're not just going to bring you out and leave you. This is really where the rubber's going to meet the road. At Pendleton, you'll have the opportunity, as we discussed, to demonstrate your technology in a real world, at the test range in a real world environment, which Daryl and team at the accelerator will work with you prior to arriving to develop how we're going to test it, what that test looks like, and his team will help refine the approach so that your test is optimized for the various scenarios, that we can really highlight your technology to the judges in the best way. The on-site experience should be invaluable to you. You'll be gaining insights from seasoned professionals and have a chance to test in diverse conditions and climates that you can in Pendleton that you really can't do in one place anywhere else. Reaching this stage is a significant achievement. It means your innovation's been recognized by us as one of the most promising in the field. Whether or not you ultimately win the grand prize, being a finalist opens doors and partnerships, investment opportunities that can propel you to the next level. As a finalist, you'll also all receive, those 5, 1 free month of test flights at the Pendleton UAS range. So as you prepare your application, I want you to keep that journey in mind. Every step of the process is an opportunity to refine your tech, gain exposure, and move closer to making a real world impact. Now, if you're selected as one of the 5 finalists, the other thing you'll have the opportunity to take advantage of is the Oregon UAS accelerators will avail our business mentors that specialize in pitch refinement to you, where you'll all have a set amount of time to really be able to go over your pitch and refine it to really dial in so that you can make the best presentation possible. We want all of you to win. Unfortunately, only one of you will be the grand prize winner, but we want you to put yourself in the best position possible to succeed. Joe?
Well, great. So thanks, Chris. And please mark your calendars. This challenge application closes on March 25th. Don't miss the deadline. We're excited to see what your innovation or integrative solution will bring to the table. And, Chris discussed much of this. One area that I'd like to focus on here that is not on this page is the fact that the funds that you're receiving are called a special innovator grant. And that grant is a non-dilutive grant, so it doesn't dilute any equity from your company, but that money generously comes to us from the state of Oregon. So Oregon naturally needs to have some type of ROI when they invest this type of money into a startup. We don't want you to win this event and hightail it back to wherever you came from and say thank you very much and go on your merry way. This isn't what this is about. This is about winning this special innovator grant for the proven in Pendleton UAS counter-UAS challenge, and ensuring that there is some ROI for the state of Oregon. And so we'll need to discuss what that ROI looks like to you, but it could be you're required to engage with Oregon-based investors. It could be that you are engaged with strategics, partners. It could be that you open a branch of your organization here at the Pendleton UAS test range and accelerator to show Oregon that you're serious about, taking your technology that you developed and having it be used in the state. So please keep that in mind. Again, Chris, you have to be a USA-based company. You could have your company headquarters anywhere, but I think at the very least, if you win this competition, that you should consider having a branch of your company here in Pendleton. Could be a small office, whatever that case might be. but it has to have some type of ROI to the state. I'm sure you have more questions about that. We'll be happy to answer those questions, and I won't go over these requirements or what, these requirements on this slide. I'll skip over that so we have time for Q&A. What we're looking for in your pitch, we're looking for, if whatever, whether you're a semifinalist stage presenting, company, you'll be presenting to us virtually, or you've made it to the finals at Pendleton. These are key elements that we want to see in your pitch presentation, and we want to make them really compelling and clear to our panel of judges. Really a clear problem statement, a solution statement that mirrors that problem statement or statements. Basically, specifically, what a specific drone threat, are you addressing, right? Is it detection in an urban environment? Is it neutralization? Is it tracking? Whatever that might be. Next, highlight your innovation in your solution, as I mentioned. We want you to talk about your technical feasibility. Of course, you're going to be required to demonstrate it, but really kind of a viable approach beyond just demonstration, to be able to articulate what that technical innovation and advantage is. Remember, we're particularly interested in dual use technologies. Show us how your solution can be applied both in a commercial civilian context as well as a defense context. And this versatility can signify an increase in your tech's impact and market potential. A really solid market analysis, kind of market opportunity. Are we looking at a big hockey stick of growth over the next 3 to 5 years? Kind of demonstrating your understanding of the counter-UAS landscape. Who are the key players? What are the current gaps in the market? How does your solution fit into this ecosystem? Who your competitors are? Deployment readiness, obviously super important. And don't forget to showcase your team expertise. It's really, investors and strategics, one of the things that they'll key on your pitch is your team, because they really want to know, if I make a strategic partnership or an investment in your company, they want to know that you have a well-balanced team that covers almost all your bases and will execute on a strategy that will take you to commercialization and scaling, which is critically important to these partners. And then remember, great pitch is about storytelling. It's a de-risking proposition. You need to de-risk any questions that investors and strategics might be thinking to themselves while they're hearing the pitch. So kind of be proactive in that regard. Don't be reactive. And it's really about painting a really clear picture about how your technology will make a difference in counter-UAS operations. And we're looking for solutions, as Chris mentioned, real world solutions that are innovative, impactful, and ready to take on drone threats today as well as into the future. So, Daryl, I think you're up now talking about evaluating the solution.
So, if your solution involves flying an aircraft as part of the demonstration, there is paperwork that we need to do, and there is a lead time associated with that. So we would want to, as soon as you're down selected, make contact with our mission planning folks, as well as myself, so we can get the necessary paperwork. If you're a larger aircraft over 55 pounds, the lead time is a little bit more. If it's under 55 pounds, it goes a little quicker. If it's a ground-based solution and you're not intending to fly, we don't really need to do any paperwork. What we look at, what we talked about internally, is depending on the nature of your demonstration, for example, if you're interested in doing a detection, we would want to work with the mission planning folks, um, provide a common platform that the range likely owns, and we would fly standardized profiles. So all the companies trying to demonstrate detection would have kind of a level playing field that would allow them to demonstrate their ability to detect, given similar profiles. If your intent is to track and kill, we can do kinetic kill here on the airfield. We would expect at that point that the customer or the finalist would bring their own target aircraft because it would likely be obviously destroyed. We don't want to do that with our equipment. Um, Other than that, we're just trying to balance, you know, the demonstration equally, so we have kind of a common standard to do the evaluation against a fixed or a clear set of criteria that's equal and fair across the board.
All right. So
All right, sweet.
with both of those aspects together, that is all, between presentation, feasibility, commercial viability, and then effectiveness, speed, accuracy, how you meet the criteria of the demonstration that you guys have worked together to lay out. Those are all going to work together to formulate your overall score, which will determine how we reach the winner for the AUVSI Cascade spring symposium pitch that you're going to be doing. I think we've got some time left here. Andrew, you want to hit us with some questions?
Yeah, let's start going through these. First of all, Merritt asked, is there any preference benefit to companies that reside inside the Pacific Northwest?
I, as I mentioned, that, you know, the benefit has to be to the state of Oregon. It's great that you're close by in the Pacific Northwest, but really, if you win this challenge, it has to be proven in Pendleton and thus proven in Oregon. And so, yeah, it's great that you're close, but really, the impact needs to be on Oregon first before the impact happens in other areas.
Great. All right. Next, David asked, if we've already applied, when do we get down selected to pitch and demonstrate? Chris, I think we can answer that one. Applications close on the 25th. We'll be spending the next week kind of going through and down selecting, and we will have that kind of email sent out if you are down selected, probably by the end of that week, to get that interview and pitch session scheduled right away. We obviously want to get this process rolling. Anything else, Chris?
Oh, you hit it on the head, sir.
Great. All right, next question, also from Merritt. Will you be focusing on all three of the layers of protection, or will you take solutions from more than one tier? Also, if two tiers are covered, will that be considered in this evaluation? As mitigation is not legal in the US, I assume the FAA testing area at Pendleton will allow for target mitigation. Daryl, that sounds like a
Yeah,
question.
as I mentioned, we can do kinetic kill. Directed energy, as was mentioned in a previous slide, would probably need to be a different style of demonstration, but we can go up and track a target vehicle. We can launch a kill vehicle and do kinetic kill. We could, launch a net. Those kinds of mitigations are allowed here at the range.
Great.
Cool.
Next question. What protocol does Alta 8 use?
Yeah, that was again my reference to if somebody's doing detect, we might suggest using one of our Alta 8 platforms to fly a standardized pattern. Steve is on, he's our chief engineer. He's much more familiar with that platform than I am and can better answer that question.
Yeah, the Alta 8 is a Pixhawk based octocopter, so it's using Mavlink, and then it's got the RFD 900 radios on it.
Great. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Daryl. Next question from David Morrison. Weeble, apologies if I said that wrong, has already received FCC license to operate our radar at Pendleton Airfield. Who do I send that info to?
Yeah, David, if you're down selected, that'll be one of those portions of documents that we'll collect with Daryl and the team at the range, and that'll be coming in over there.
Yep. One more question from David. Will you fly drones against our radar capability during the demo?
Yeah, as long as we're not kinetically killing our own drones, we will put the drones up as Daryl just said, and fly some standardized patterns so that we're really evaluating everybody's detection capabilities against each other, against the the same criteria, the same distances, locations, altitudes, etc., and speed. It's one thing if you can pick it up at 5 miles an hour. It's another if you can pick it up at 150 miles an hour. So we want to be able to check those things.
Great. And then last question here. Oh, no, a couple more coming in, sorry. But question here, will there be an opportunity to showcase a solution that involves live fire, 45 millimeter semi-automatic?
Negative. No, we cannot do that.
Okay.
And so, just to get a little deeper into that question, Daryl, is there a possibility, are they talking ground to air, air to air? What's the,
I mean, if I would assume the question is air to air or air to ground potentially, with the weapon mounted to the aircraft in flight. Obviously, if they wanted to demonstrate that on the ground, ground to airs, that would be even more difficult. I was going to say if the aircraft was on the ground firing at a ground target, that could probably be arranged. Air to ground would be a little bit more difficult. We'd have to look into current regulations and rules on flying armed aircraft. It might not be allowed on the FAA ranges, might have to be in a restricted airspace. We would have to look into it in a little bit more detail, but I think for the purposes of this demo, certainly a ground to air live fire is probably not feasible.
Yeah.
One more question in here right now. Are solutions that are commercially affordable in both commercial, military, with similar functionality preferred?
I don't think I understand that.
I say
Question.
affordability really has to do with the view of the buyer. So dual use is something we are looking for. Can it be used commercially and militarily? Obviously, price will affect the level of which people can buy it. Solution be sold at a present and military. Absolutely, if it accomplishes both, that is something we'd want to look at. If there's version 1 is what we sell to the prison system, and then we have a 2.0 that adds on to it that goes to the military. Obviously those will have 2 different price points, because they could be the same base system with additional feature sets depending on what you're doing. As example, you may be able to do the detecting and tracking system, and you sell that commercially, and when you sell it militarily, that's where you're adding in your ground to air targeting and neutralization that we were just talking about. You couldn't add that on in a civilian setting, so you could price it similarly, or you could go forward from there.
Another question here. Stationary. So it's Josh from with shooting again. Stationary mounted ground to air. If not possible with live ammo, would we be able to demonstrate with non-lethal?
Yeah, most likely you need a little more definition on what the non-lethal is. Is it a projectile that, just isn't a lead
Is it-
bullet, or, we need
Is
to
it a
know more of it.
paintball? Is it a paintball? Is it a pellet gun? Something airsoft?
So we would, Josh, as we move forward, if you're down selected, we'd really dial in on how we could do that. Because again, we want to make sure that you're putting the best light within the capabilities to succeed.
We're, to add on to that, we're actually one of the startups, as a matter of fact, it's here at the accelerator now, is using an airsoft gun on their aircraft to fire those little airsoft pellets at a ground-based target. So this solution could work. We just need to talk to our mission planning folks and understand a little bit more about what you're trying to do.
All right.
Then George said, if RF jamming is not allowed during the live demonstration, how will you evaluate the effectiveness of various systems live at the demo?
RF jamming is somewhat problematic. We would need to look at that on a case-by-case basis to understand the bandwidth that your jammer is using, its output power, the nature of the antenna, and see if it's compatible with what we've got. We've got multiple people operating here with multiple data links and C2 links. So if you're working in a very narrow RF band, it's possible we could do a demo. Otherwise, we would probably need to see, maybe some lab data from a simulation or something we're running in the lab that could demonstrate that capability. We'd have to, again, look at it and understand a little bit more about that. But
Yeah. But again, custom demonstrations, putting you guys.
yeah, I would say,
Yes.
don't hesitate not to apply. Provide as much detail as you can, and we can evaluate that and come up with a plan. Our goal is to come to a yes for any request that we've got. We don't like to say no. So the more information you could provide, the best, the better we could evaluate that and make a decision.
All right.
Great. Another question here. Do you have any scenarios for testing so we can know them before submitting an application?
Was that
I would think, like I say, once we know who we're going to down select, if there's several that are doing, just a straight detection, I think we would put together a scenario in advance, like I say, to try to level the playing field so everybody is trying to detect the same vehicle, flying the same profile. If there's multiple solutions and things that want to be demonstrated, again, we'd have to look at each one. Once we see the application package, we could probably give you a preliminary scenario based on what you're trying to accomplish, that we could then perhaps refine if we needed to, or it might be, you might provide enough information that we can say, yes, when you get here, this is what your thing is going to look like.
okay?
Is detection or mitigation the key factor of success at the demo, or a combination of both is preferred?
I think, yeah, obviously detection, if you can detect, mitigation kind of follows and can be evaluated through analysis. Detection is the hard one. Detection, getting near enough to the target to mitigate it. I think once you've demonstrated detection, mitigation follows. So I would say, successful detection would be 75, 80% of the factor of success. If you wanted to do a kinetic kill or a net or something like that, that would be just icing on the cake.
Covered that.
Great. Are we targeting legal drones or illegal drones?
Both, really. A legal drone can be converted into an illegal drone very easily if it's dropping contraband into the prison or being armed with explosives or anything like that. So really, we're taking drones as kind of a complete picture here. If you want to demonstrate killing a DJI from Walmart, it's really no different than some other drone that might have more nefarious purposes. So yeah, we're taking drones collectively, I think.
If I can and jump in on that too. So looking at building out some of the targets, we are going to have a varying degree of spectrums that we're using, and relying on something like remote ID is not going to be very helpful. It will be helpful, but the drone might not necessarily have it on there as a legal drone normally would.
No.
Josh has another question here. With systems demonstrating kinetic kill options, are there restrictions to what make and model drone the company provides itself?
I'm assuming you're talking about the target drone that you would intend to kill.
Yeah.
No, it's up to you. Speed, size, characteristics. If it's a VTOL, if it's a fixed wing, whatever you wanted to use would be up to you. Again, just keep in mind that, as we're talking about flying, anything over 55 pounds, if you're talking about a big drone, either the target or the kill vehicle, we've got some additional paperwork we need to do. If it's under 55 pounds, it's easier, but nonetheless, there's still paper. So once we've down selected, we can start working directly with you as quickly as we can to get the required authorizations in place and get your mission planning done.
Thanks, Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? I don't see any in the Q&A or in the chat.
We're good.
We good?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time again to be a part of this this webinar. We're excited to have each and every one of you apply, excited to have the opportunity to kind of take a deeper dive and look into what you're doing. And hopefully you will be able to pitch to us virtually. Hopefully you'll be able, or you'll be selected as a finalist, and hopefully we'll see you in Pendleton soon.